I've gone back to my index and I want to find out about the sounds that birds makes, the sound that birds make, bird song. And it says bird calls and songs, page 52. I'm going to turn to that. Here it says 52, 5 near 2. Now, have you noticed that you can hear the birds a lot more clearly at the moment? It's partly because it's spring, it's partly because there's less cars around, but I find that you can hear them best early in the morning and at night time. Now, I read you a story of the bog babies last week and I went to a wood to do it, but a couple of days before, when I was on my exercise walk, I stopped in some bluebells. I thought it'd be lovely if I read a book, the bog baby book, in the bluebells. So I sat down to read it and this is what happened. I couldn't hear myself talking, so I couldn't use it, so I had to go somewhere else to read the story. Bird calls and songs. Why do birds sing? Look, it's a question and they've got a question mark there. Any idea why birds sing? It can be hard to see where other birds are through thick plants or tall leafy trees. So loud calls and songs help birds stay in touch with family and friends. Now, we use phones to stay in touch with family and friends, don't we? We can give them a call. Birds don't have phones, so they use their bird song. Calls are short and songs are long and complicated. Music makes a heart grow fonder, and it says a pair of crimson-breasted shrikes will sing duets to help strengthen their bond. So a duet is two people singing together, and so those two birds are singing together. Singing lessons. A baby songbird starts learning to sing when it's 10 days old. Very young. And a baby zebra finch gets lessons from its dad. Its dad. A real performer. A sedge warbler sings the longest and most complicated song. The dawn chorus. That's what I hear when I go out really early in the morning for my exercise walk. This is what we call the songs birds sing at sunrise. Skylarks sing first, and that's where we get the phrase up with the lark. Now, on page 8 it says, I'm a bird spotter. A bird spotter is somebody who looks at birds, really interested in birds, like my mum. What does a bird think of you? Wild birds, that's not birds that you'd have in your house, are normally going to wait for the train. There's a train track right behind me. Wild birds are normally nervous around people. If you want to spot birds outside, you will need to stay quiet and still and be patient. Bird spotters will build a tent and they'll stay in their tent for hours and hours watching the birds. It says, leave no trace. If you're lucky enough to spot a nest, remember that a bird doesn't like its nest or eggs to be touched. And if you touch them or go too near, the bird will fly away and won't come back, and then the eggs will die. Detective work. A bird will leave clues that it's nearby. It might leave feathers, eggshells, poo, or bones from food that they've eaten. The call of the wild. Don't know if you can hear, but I think I just heard a pigeon. You will often hear birds singing and calling to each other. If you learn some common bird calls, it will help you to spot them. We'll talk about that another time. Bird spotting kit. When you are bird spotting, it's useful to take a pair of binoculars. Those are binoculars there. A sketchbook might come in handy for drawing and taking notes. So people take binoculars and a book to draw or write in. Now, my mum has this, and this is a telescope. And you hold it up like this and look through it, and it makes things that are far away look really close. So she uses that to spot birds, which might be in trees a long, long way away. We're going to find out more about birds this week. See you tomorrow.